I arrived at my little brother's wedding full of happiness after sacrificing years of my life to help raise him. But my name card read, poor, uneducated sister, living off her brother. The bride's family burst out laughing. I was ready to swallow the shame and leave until my brother held my hand and said to his future father-in-law, "You just made the most expensive mistake of your life." The room fell dead silent for a few seconds. The next morning, I woke up at 5 a.m. without an alarm. 15 years of early mornings had trained my body to rise before the world. I lay in the hotel bed, still in my dress, replaying the moment I turned over that name card and heard the laughter start. I had driven 4 hours to be there. I had smiled through the rehearsal dinner while the bride's mother looked at me like furniture she wasn't expecting to find in the room. I told myself none of it mattered because my brother was happy, and happy was the only thing I had ever truly wanted for him. Then I checked my phone. 47 missed calls. Not from family, from journalists. My brother had texted at 2 a.m. 3 words, "Don't say anything." An hour later, he called. Here's what the people at that table didn't know. My brother isn't just someone I put through school by working doubles and skipping meals. He is the lead engineer on a federal infrastructure contract worth $340 million. His name is on the filing. The bride's father owns a construction firm, one of 3 companies shortlisted to bid on that same contract. My brother had known for months. He hadn't said anything because he wanted me to just show up and feel proud. That night, instead of sleeping, he filed a formal conflict of interest disclosure to the federal contracting office. Not framed as revenge, framed as a legal obligation because technically it was. A key project engineer attending the wedding of a subcontractor's daughter without disclosure was the kind of oversight that could unravel a contract entirely. 1 email, routine in language, catastrophic in consequence. The disclosure triggered an automatic review. All 3 bids were frozen. No timeline, no exceptions. The father-in-law found out at 8 in the morning. By 9, he was in the hotel lobby. I was coming down for coffee when I saw him by the elevators. No jacket, no driver. Just a man in a wrinkled dress shirt who hadn't slept and wasn't used to that feeling. He spotted me before I could decide whether to keep walking. He asked where my brother was. I told him I didn't know. He asked again, slower, like I hadn't understood. I said, "I heard you the first time." My brother appeared from the stairwell a few minutes later. He'd been awake all night, but his eyes were calm in that way that only happens when someone has made a decision they're at peace with. He looked at his father-in-law the way you look at a problem you've already solved. The man didn't waste time. He needed my brother to contact the contracting office and say the disclosure had been filed in error. He used words like misunderstanding and mutual benefit. He mentioned his daughter, the life she deserved, what it would mean to start a marriage with this tension between families. My brother listened without interrupting. When the man finished, he said, "I'll think about it. Right after you apologize to her." The man turned to me. I watched his jaw tighten. I watched him run the numbers, the size of the contract, the cost of one sentence against everything he stood to lose. He said sorry, not the way people say it when they mean it, but he said it. I looked at him and said, "I know." I picked up my coffee and walked to the elevator. My brother fell into step beside me. Neither of us looked back. The review took 4 months. Investigators pulled records and examined the bid submissions against the family relationship. The firm was disqualified. The other 2 companies split the contract. My brother never made another call about it. He had filed a legal disclosure, exactly what he was required to do. Nothing to undo, nothing to explain. What nobody at that wedding understood, when they laughed at a name card designed to humiliate the woman who had kept one person standing for 15 years, was that the person she raised had become someone with real power. Not the kind inherited with a last name. The kind that comes from being trusted with something that matters because you earned it through years of work nobody photographed or applauded. The same kind they had mocked. My brother called me after the disqualification was confirmed. He asked if I was okay. I told him I was. We sat in that long quiet the way we always do when something has happened that doesn't need to be named. Then he said, "You deserve to walk into that room knowing what you were walking in with." I told him the truth. I didn't go there for power. I went because you were getting married and I wanted to see you happy. He was quiet for a second. Then he said, "I